Now, while we celebrate our dairy, we need to appreciate the other dimension of the reality too. Big as it may appear, the cooperative network till now manages only between 20 to 25% of our country's total milk production. And add another 2 or 3% by the other organized sector. So nearly 70% of the milk is still into the disorganized sector. There are stark contradictions. Our genuine claim of being the top producer gets soured by our position near the bottom in terms of cattle productivity. High per capita availability does not address the prevalence of malnutrition. Most milk still reaches the consumer in an unprocessed state. And moreover, we have been basking in the glory of Amul. No other milk federation, after all, Amul is a state milk cooperative federation, no other milk federation or cooperative institution has reached anywhere near Amul's position, which fails to logic and reason. After all, Gujarat is a very prominent dairy state, but Gujarat is not the biggest state. You have Uttar Pradesh Milk Marketing Federation, you have Punjab Milk Marketing Federation, Tamil Nadu Milk Marketing Federation. Why is it that nobody has ever reached even anywhere near Amul? Part of the reason could also be the distortion which has set in our cooperative system on account of increased political control and influence, and also bureaucratic control for bureaucrats like us, like me, not us. I single myself out. So we have not been really working strictly in accordance with the... Please tell me if I am exceeding time, Dr. Srivastava. The principles of cooperatives have been seriously compromised with. You see, the global population is about 7.5 billion. The Food and Agriculture Organization says that more than 7 billion people consume milk and milk products. 81% of the world milk production is contributed by cattle, followed by 15% buffaloes, 2% goats, 1% sheep, and 0.5% camels. About 1/3 of the milk produced in the developing countries is from buffaloes, goats, and camels, whereas in the developed world, almost the entire milk is produced by cattle. Now, interestingly, despite only a minuscule of 4 lakh buffaloes, Italy guards them a national treasure. Italy में छोटा सा country है Italy, 4 लाख भैंसे हैं, पर they guard it as a national treasure. और उन बफलो से जो उनका मोज़रेला चीज बनता है, that has been registered with the European Union. It is called mozzarella di bufala, and nobody else can call their cheese as a mozzarella cheese except for the cheese derived from these 4 lakh buffaloes. On the other hand, we own more than 60% of the global buffalo population, and we produce 76% of the global buffalo milk. We still have relegated this species of our own origin to the background. Now, this is an area of very, very serious concern. We are a unique country in another way. We are the only country where half of the milk we produce is from buffalo, half from the cattle. No other country can boast of milk in such huge quantities from the 2 most prominent dairy species. जितना दूध नंबर 2 अमेरिका बनाता है, उतना दूध हमारी भैंसें बनाती हैं, सिर्फ हमारी भैंसें बनाती हैं. So this is a very, very unique thing. So it is in our interest of our farmers and for the continuing growth and strength of the dairy sector that we also direct our policy, our attention, our research and science in equal measure towards the buffalo also. And I'm glad it had been mentioned that buffalo breed improvement programs are also critical and important. Do you know that till the year 1999, buffalo milk was not even recognized as milk? The Codex Alimentarius, the documented world standards and codes for food products and their safety, it defined milk. It didn't say milk from here and here. However, while defining milk, it says that milk has to be clearly labeled if it is not from cow. तो जो you had to declare that this milk was not from cow. So de facto, milk meant that milk which is from cow and not from any other species. We fought this case very aggressively, and finally at the intervention of India, the definition of milk was changed to include milking secretions from all animals. So that is how buffalo got recognition. Now one can understand that the elevated status which the cow enjoys in our country and in our dairy sector is on account of strong religious and cultural values and beliefs. But when we talk of dairy sector, besides that we have to talk dairy economics also. In terms of pure dairy economics, does the cow hold any distinct advantage over buffalo? I have talked to so many of the dairy scientists and economists. The inevitable answer is no. In terms of dairy economics, cow does not enjoy any advantage over buffalo, although vice versa is true. We propagate the virtues of cow milk, but in terms of nutritive value or digestibility, there is no difference. Now the health conscious, cholesterol-obsessed consumer should find solace in the fact that the cholesterol in buffalo milk is 275 mg per 100 grams, whereas in cow it is 330 mg per 100 grams. So we just want to reassure everyone that buffalo milk is as good a source of nutrition as is the cow milk. But I'm not propagating the superiority of buffalo over cow. All I'm saying is that people who propagate the superiority of cow over buffalo, please continue to do so if you believe on account of your religious values or cultural values so strongly. But when it comes to the nutritional value of the milk, or when it comes to the economics of dairy, this would be an irrational statement to make that cow is superior to buffalo. In fact, buffalo poses no ideological threat also, because in terms of cow, there is a strong debate between the virtues of the Desi cow versus the Videshi cow. There are merits and demerits on both the sides. This kind of ideological conflict does not come to challenge us when it comes to buffalo, because buffalo is Desi. There is no case of somebody importing a buffalo. So let us celebrate our unique position in international dairy, that we are the only country in the world which is both a cow and a buffalo country. Further, for a farmer, a buffalo also means a low cost and little trouble maintenance animal. It is neither finicky nor choosy about the quality or the taste of food. Dr. Meenesh Shah was mentioning about feed, and Dr. Sodhi mentioned about FCR. I think the buffalo has a much more efficient FCR in terms of conversion, and it can survive on coarse fodder and crop residues also. Moreover, a buffalo, even after its lifetime, is an economic asset. You see, in terms of our agriculture exports, one of the biggest agriculture products which is exported is buffalo meat. We exported buffalo meat worth 26,000 crores. I think quantity was more than 1 million tons. 26,000 crores worth of buffalo meat was exported. So the point I'm making is, whenever we talk in terms of dairy, we should not be ignoring the buffalo, which we tend to. And Dr. Srivastava, I would urge that while we understand the sensitivities which are attached to, and the sentimentalities which are attached to the cow, but when we are teaching dairy economics and dairy science, we need to understand that, as I said earlier, if you have to blend our ideology, beliefs, wisdom along with science, and I think buffalo milk makes very great sense because it is much richer in fat. So it is amenable to creation of many more products than the cow milk is. You see, every product which you make from cow milk can be made from buffalo milk, but it's not vice versa. So one has to see this trend. Because otherwise, if nutrition value dekha jaye, I'm told that closest to human milk is the equine milk. But then if you say, well, let us start manufacturing donkey milk and marketing donkey milk, it will be very hard task to find a market. Although there is a niche market for developing donkey milk also, but I don't see a mass market coming up. Now, finally, I would not, you can circulate it, I would not like to take much time because on many of the issues, all of you present here know much more than me. Now, it has been mentioned time and again, nobody would question is that if there is one food which can be said to be complete food, that is the milk, that is milk. The only food which could be said to be a complete food. Now, of course, there are skeptics who advocate that a complete food is one which contains animal meat. The line of argument being that the animal protein is an essential nutrient for the human body and that is available only through meat. Maybe a valid point. But then milk is also animal protein. Nobody can question that milk is not an animal protein. Virat Kohli, one of the most celebrated cricketers of India and a supremely fit athlete, is a vegetarian. Erstwhile cricketing hero Virendra Sehwag was a vegetarian. All our wrestlers who have won gold medals in Olympics, Asia, and Commonwealth Games are vegetarians. And you ask them, where do you draw your strength and stamina from? Their one word answer would be milk. So I need not say the kind of nutrients that milk is packed with. But a cause of concern which Dr. Sodhi just touched upon, and he had been in the past telling me, and he made me write also on this, is these vegans who have lobbied to reject milk outrightly, being of animal origin, and started promoting and propagating milk substitutes. Sorry to say, milk has no substitute. There is no such thing called soya milk. There is no such thing called almond milk. They are beverages. They are not milk. Am I right, Dr. Sodhi? These juices and beverages, they masquerade as milk. ये बहरूपिये हैं, दूध का रूप धारण करके हमारे सामने आ रहे हैं. They contain unhealthy amount of sugar. They contain unhealthy chemical additives. Then, calling them milk is also illegal. Because I said, Codex Alimentarius defines milk as a secretion, memory secretion of a milking animal. So if you call them milk, it is illegal, and there is an FSSAI regulation and a code also to this effect when one can be prosecuted. The exact definition I have here, Codex Alimentarius: the normal mammary secretion of milking animals obtained from one or more milkings without either addition to it or extraction from it, intended for consumption as liquid milk or for further processing. So it also includes without either addition to it or extraction from it. So this is what milk is. You see, I have nothing against veganism. If somebody's choice is veganism, let it be so. But then let it be a matter of individual belief and ideology, and let it not be propagated and touted as a science. No doubt these beverages impersonating as milk are getting popular by the day. Yet their nutritional benefits in comparison to milk remain suspect. Let us see what these cost. A 1 liter of milk today would cost you anything between 50 to 70 rupees. Whereas a soy milk or almond milk would cost you 250 to 300 rupees a liter. 70 to 75% of the consumer price of milk goes to the milk producer, the farmer. Whereas the soy milk or the almond milk, which is being sold at 250 rupees a liter, what percentage would go to the farmer? Not more than 5% or 10%. The entire benefit of the value addition in terms of consumer price is taken by the manufacturer or the processor. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you a slight global perspective of how important our dairy is. I'm missing out certain parts of my speech in terms of the issues relating to productivity, etc., because which have been very elaborately touched. You see, one of the most, maybe it should be interest the young students if they are interested, although I'm seeing now bold faces in the audience. One of the most popular cattle breeds in America is called Brahman. It is called Brahman. Brahman produces only an average of about 15 liters of milk a day. Not very impressive from American standards. But then it's a hybrid animal, and milk is only a byproduct. Brahman cattle is raised only for beef. Now rest is offend our sensitivities. Brahman word here does not either mean Brahman or Brahma. It is basically from the Sanskrit word bra, which means to expand, to grow. Brahman breed is the progeny of 4 Indian indigenous breeds. Gir from Gujarat, Kankarej from Gujarat, then again a third breed called Gujarat, which is now no longer in the registered breeds, and Ongole from Andhra Pradesh. These were long time back exported to the United States, Brazil and Australia, and continuous breed improvement programs have generated into the today's Brahman group of cattle, which is the most sought after group of cattle in the United States of America, Australia, New Zealand and Brazil, because this animal is hardier, more resilient than their own native breeds, and this has been possible on account of breed improvement programs. That is where our country, in terms of our dairy development programs and dairy intervention programs, has been sadly lacking. Dr. Meenesh Shah will tell you, now in fact we have importing our own Gir from Brazil, our own native breed, the germplasm of Gir, we are importing from Brazil. And I remember when we took this decision to import our Gir from Brazil, there were protests in certain sections, and I was held responsible and I was accused of compromising the purity of our Gir. So my logic was, our Honorable Prime Minister is wooing the non-resident Indians to come and invest in India. So what we are doing is, we are wooing our non-resident cattle to come back and help us improve our own breeds. Ladies and gentlemen, dairy offers boundless opportunities for improved productivity and value additions. Opportunities we have only marginally encashed so far. Future should see us moving from absolute production to quality, hence the value of our production. This is the change in perspective we need to bring into our entire agriculture sector and the entire dairy sector, entire livestock sector. Whenever we tell दूध कितना होता है, इतने लीटर दूध होता है. Tell something about your buffalo or cow, it gives so many liters of milk. We never tell this gives me so much of money. We now need to change our perspective from quantity to quality and from absolute figures to the value. This is the value of the milk and this is the value of the dairy which we are looking at. There is a very popular Hollywood actress called Natalie Portman. I read her quote somewhere and I have probably recorded it. She says, I love milk so much. I make a point of drinking a glass of milk every day. So now anyone who did those milk ads with milk mustaches, they are my heroes. So a typical Hollywood actress was saying, who are your heroes? She said, ones who drink milk and have those milk mustaches, they are my heroes. So this is how she describes which cultures across the world describe as food of the gods. Devtaon ka bhojan hai milk. There is a saying called grapes are sad. अब जब अंगूर खट्टे हो जाते हैं तो आप उनको खा नहीं सकते. Sometime back I was gone to a Vita booth in I live in Gurgaon. मैं Vita की दुकान पे दूध खरीद रहा था. तो a young couple came there very agitated. They're very agitated. And there's an old shopman कि आपसे सुबह दूध लेकर गए थे, वो सारा का सारा दूध फट गया. And they were very aggressive. The old shopkeeper just smiled and his Haryanvi dialect said, फट गया तो क्या होगा? पनीर बना लेते हैं. So this made me thinking. So say grapes, the sour grapes are worth nothing, but sour milk is precious. जब अंगूर खट्टे होते हैं वो फेंकते हो आप, पर जब दूध खट्टा होता है तो आप उसे वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट जो है वो पनीर निकाल देते हो. It's a miracle. A food going bad creates a better food. A food which has gone bad, which otherwise you would throw, has actually created a better food. A photographer जब फोटो खींचता है, what does he say? Cheese. The photographer says, say cheese. So ladies and gentlemen, let us say cheese to our farmers and make them smile. Thank you so much.
Lecture has truly enriched us all with a brief introduction about the milk revolution and current scenario of dairy sector. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wisdom.